Adam Skelly was arrested yesterday at the site of his restaurant, Adamson Barbeque in Etobicoke. His crime was to defy the COVID-19 lockdown orders of Mayor John Tory. This morning, the restaurant site was surrounded by dozens of Toronto police officers, and they had barricaded the site entirely with stanchions and fencing. There were dozens of supporters of Skelly outside the police barricades, sharing pizza and generally sharing to be what appeared to be a tailgate party in the parking lot. 3 days ago, no one really knew who Adam Skelly was. Today, he is one of the most famous names in Canada. Amazing what a little civil disobedience will do for you. A GoFundMe account supporting Skelly has raised over $130,000 in its first 24 hours. Clearly, Canadians support his position and not that of the draconian Mayor of Toronto. Skelly looks like the everyman Canadian. He's a bit of a hoser, but I think that makes him a bit more endearing. Wearing a gray pullover hoodie and a red and black mackinaw, people identify with him, standing up to big government. They cannot identify with the Mayor of Toronto, John Tory, who issues edicts from on high and drags the police into it to support him. Just as an aside, I have heard from a number of Toronto police officers who have said they wholeheartedly disagree with their department's position in all this and say they are only doing their job and following orders in blockading Adamson's Barbeque and arresting Skelly. As of Friday morning, Skelly was facing 13 charges, including criminal charges of obstructing police. It is the equivalent of trying to kill a gnat with a sledgehammer. In a statement Thursday evening, Toronto Police Superintendent Dom Sinopoli described the situation around the restaurant as, quote, dynamic. He finished his statement saying, rather lamely I might add, quote, but at the end of the day, if Mr. Skelly and others intent on contravening the law, we will take action, unquote. The problem with all this is it just seems patently unfair. There is no evidence of a single case of COVID-19 emanating from Adamson Barbeque. In fact, from all accounts, Skelly has been following all the regulations and suggestions emanating from the health authorities since staged reopening was allowed in the GTA in the spring. He's just had enough. When the latest lockdown measures were announced by the Premier and the Mayor, Skelly refused. He was just getting back on his feet. He'd followed all the rules and recommendations, and yet, here he is. Walmart and its restaurants were still open, so was Costco and its snack bar. But he couldn't serve up a barbecued beef on a bun for his customers? It is this patent unfairness enforced by the jackboot of the state that has captured the attention of the country. The Canadian Bill of Rights was first brought in by Prime Minister John Diefenbaker in 1960. That was followed up by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms by Pierre Elliott Trudeau in 1982. The rights of Canadians are carved in stone in those documents. They are not to be taken away by any government on a whim, which is exactly what this is. Masks and lockdowns are just guesswork by public health bureaucrats in the absence of actual evidence of what's going on with the pandemic. Equally, it would seem that orders for the first doses of vaccines will be going out within the next fortnight. On the surface of things, it is hard to see the potential damage Adam Skelly is doing by selling a few barbecue sandwiches. Yet, nearly 100 Toronto police officers barricaded his restaurant and arrested him on Thursday. If he's looking for a silver lining after being handcuffed and perped walked to a waiting police car, it is that with that, he is now qualified to be Heritage Minister. For True North, I'm Leo Knight.